The IRS spied on conservative groups that made them sick, and now news that could make the IRS sick. Talk on the Hill. They should be cut out of the health care law altogether. And all those thousands of agents hired to police it, forget it and forget them. To Julie Roginski at Scottie, Nell, Hughes, and Peter Suderman. All right, Scottie, what do you make of this?
Okay, well, this makes just as much sense as next year, instead of your accountant doing your taxes, you need to have them do open heart surgery on you. AKA, the IRS should have never been in charge of Obamacare. And in wake of the last 3 days of scandal coming out, who's to say that these Sarah Palin death panels might not actually be coming true?
Peter, at the very least, bad timing, and it's going to slow the timing of this, I would think. But we'll see. What do you make of it?
I think this raises significant questions about the IRS's role in overseeing and administering Obamacare. You know, the IRS is in charge of administering the mandate and the premium subsidies, really important pieces of Obamacare. But one of the things that's come out here is that the IRS targeted groups that opposed Obamacare. Do you really want the same people who targeted those groups now overseeing the law?
Julie, you do, right? You don't have any problem.
Well, you know, if you're going to get rid of the IRS doing Obamacare, you might as well get rid of the IRS, period, just because one part of the IRS is rotten, and I do want to say it is rotten what they did, and there's no excuse for it. But, you know, if they're not going to enforce it, who will? And so if you're going to say the IRS can't enforce a component of the health care law, then I guess the IRS
can. You don't feel a little weirded out by that? Just even if none of this happened, that the IRS is policing this stuff.
Well, all they're policing is ensuring that you're paying for the individual. Like if you're paying the penalty.
Do you really think it ends there?
Well, what else are you going to do with that? I mean, who else is going to do it?
That if I get compensation for MRIs and that sort of stuff, that doesn't veer eventually to the IRS?
I think the IRS is, my understanding is the IRS has very specific mandates as to what they can and cannot police.
The same mandate that said you can't single out.
Well, in that case, look.
I'm just saying, you give someone a little more power and they get more power.
Are you saying that we should just abolish the IRS altogether?
Yes. I agree with you, Julie. That was the smartest thing you said yet.
That depends if the IRS is watching right now. No.
Cavuto, you're about to get audited so badly.
Well, that is what don't even go there. Scottie, here's my worry with all of this, that it does urge caution, right? I mean, go slow. Because I think, to Julie's point, this is hopefully an unusual issue, but it isn't an unprecedented issue. Other administrations of other political parties as well have used the IRS as sort of a secret weapon to go after its enemies. I thought we cured a lot of that with new laws after Watergate. Apparently, I was wrong. But the fact of the matter is that the more power you give an entity, the more ripe it is to do this sort of thing. That's what worries me.
Yes, and that's exactly what we want, more power in government. Are you kidding me? That never works out right. And as the IRS has proven with this issue, they are used as a tool of intimidation, which is why they went after the Tea Party groups who have been openly anti-Obamacare, which really scares me going forward. At this point, we have learned that not only was it just people patriots or with Tea Party in their name, but also different social groups or demographics like the Jewish people. So who's to say that the IRS that we know today will not be used in the future for different things than what they're known for today? This is why the Tea Party exists, because we don't trust our government.
Peter, where is this all going? I mean, you know, I was mentioning Wall Street off to the races today, maybe despite this, maybe because of this. The idea, one trader had told me to the effect, look, if it stymies big spending and this administration's spending plans, all the better. I think that's a little pat. I think that's a little simple. I think that any time you have months, if not years, of just big unknowns, Wall Street's gains will quickly go away. But what do you think of all that?
I think that in general where this is going is just bad news for the administration, bad news for the IRS, and bad news for President Obama's signature law here. It's going to make political opposition to Obamacare more salient in a lot of ways, because the organization that is charged with enforcing the mandate and the premium subsidies, two big parts of the law, you know, is under really serious fire here. And the president has said that this kind of behavior that is going on at the IRS is outrageous. And so, you know, when the president is saying that and the IRS is in charge of these things, that's big trouble.
I think your guys are wishful thinking. I mean, Obamacare is here to stay. Even the Republicans have to concede.
But when
here to stay.
You have to admit, when even Harry Reid says the IRS thing is a little over the top.
We all agree. I mean, who doesn't agree with that?
Harry Reid saying about that, don't you think Harry Reid is going to be among those saying, let's start going through what powers we're giving the IRS and how we prevent this in the future with the IRS.
Yes, absolutely right. But in that case, are you going to say that the IRS shouldn't do any audits at all because the IRS now is tainted by audits on some people? Are you saying the IRS shouldn't be in the business of collecting taxes or
No, I'm just
auditing?
going to say the IRS, you seem to have trouble enough doing the job you're defined and ordered to do. I don't want to expand. It's like taking a lousy worker and giving them more assignments.
I think the IRS is probably the most loathed agency on the planet.
Oh, now wait a minute.
I think fear comes to mind.
They're not making it any easier for themselves.
And what they did was inexcusable, but I don't think it's going to impact Obamacare one way or the other. I think that's wishful thinking.
Well, they seem like jolly nice folks to me.
Yes,
all of you.
not
Keep
all-
it up.